This video idea spent a long time in creative purgatory. Not because it's bad, it is after all one of my all-time favorite traditional recipes, but because it's quite tedious and time-consuming to make. So I spent a lot of time thinking and testing a more streamlined and easy-to-replicate version of this classic cabbage dish. Without further ado, I present to you smoked ham hock and cabbage stew. If you've seen any of my other videos and you decided to come back for more, then I assume that you are finding some value in them. If that's the case, please bless me with your kindness by subscribing to the channel, as it helps me grow and become better. In return, I promise to bring you higher value content each time. Thank you very much. Let's begin with the ingredients. And the main star here is the ham hock, 2 of them to be precise. But I don't want to put too much pressure on you by saying that it has to be smoked. No, a fresh one will work as well. The only difference being that if you can get them and smoke them on your own, the finished product will taste better and more wholesome. I got mine from a previous meat curing project, and honestly I couldn't wait to make this dish and use them in it. So to clarify, any type of pork ham hock can be used in this recipe. Fresh, cured, smoked, and any combos in between will contribute to a magnificent final dish. Next, we have the more ordinary ingredients, and in trying to make this video as short and as condensed with information as possible, I've already prepared some of them, like slicing the cabbage, peeling the onion, grating the carrots. These things didn't really strike me as riveting content. Still, if you're into that kind of kinky stuff, there's plenty of it in my other videos, you weirdo you. Back to work. The other ingredients are 2 kilos of cabbage, chopped or shredded, 100 grams of cooking bacon or 50 milliliters of oil. And on this topic, here's a link on how you can make your own cooking bacon if you, like me, are tired of cooking with oils that add no flavor to your dishes at all. Then we need 3 cloves of garlic, chopped, 1 large onion, diced, 1 medium carrot, grated, 2 bay leaves, 1 tablespoon of ground pepper, 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika, 1 tablespoon of dried thyme, 1 teaspoon, careful teaspoon of cumin seeds, 1 tablespoon of salt, and then 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. The tools needed for this recipe are 1 large oven-safe pot or Dutch oven. This is because we will need to finish this recipe in the oven. 1 large pot with a lid to cook the ham hocks in, and a large pan for the rest of the ingredients. Of course, I skipped the prep of the veg to make this video shorter, but for that you will need a sharp knife or a mandolin, a grater, and a chopping board. First things first, we'll start by cooking the ham hocks, as they will take the longest to fully cook and be as tender and delicious as they can be. For this, take the large pot with the lid, add the ham hocks inside and cover them with water. Then cook them at medium heat for 1 hour or until the meat is fully cooked and the connective tissue soft and tender. Once that's done, prep your veg and we can begin the main cooking stage. So, heat the pan on high heat and once at temperature, drop the bacon in. We want to render the fat out of it and create some really sexy lardons as a consequence of that. The way I do this is by starting the process at high heat, and after the bacon has cooked for this initial time, I reduce the heat to medium to allow it to render the rest of the fat while remaining golden brown and crispy instead of burning and becoming bitter due to the high temperature. Now, lard has a high heat point, so this won't happen easily. But we've all cooked while watching a telenovela, right? So accidents happen. The gripping love story between Jose Armando and Maria Luisa will always make your bacon bitter. Especially if you don't pay attention. Anyways, after the bacon fat has rendered and you have a nice pool of lard, drop the garlic, onion and carrot into the pan and cook for 10 minutes at medium heat until all the vegetables soften up and start tasting more like bacon than originally. When this is done, add the spices, bay leaves and 2 tablespoons of tomato paste and mix properly until all the ingredients are fully incorporated. With that done, reduce the heat to low and add the shredded cabbage on top of the mix we already have in the pan. Now, I mentioned in the beginning that we need a big pan, and this is why. The cabbage will be quite voluminous initially, but it will reduce inside in about 20 minutes of cooking with the lid on. So don't be afraid of the tall, mean, smug mountain of cabbage. Fire tames even the most arrogant of brassicas. After about 20 minutes, we are ready for the next stage, which involves moving all of the contents of the pan into the large oven-safe pot or Dutch oven. But before we do this, start your oven at 175 Celsius or 347 Fahrenheit. We'll need it nice and toasty for the next stage. Now back to the cabbage, the pan and the oven-safe pot. Please be careful here, as the steam trapped in the cabbage may scald your hands. I am using a pair of kitchen tongs to safely handle this step. Mix all the ingredients well after they are moved to the large pot, as most of the initial vegetables will be on top. After this, we want to add 1 pint of the ham hock water juice liquid soup thing that resulted from cooking them. The official name is hock juice, but for some reason it doesn't sound too marketable, so you call it whatever makes you feel good. You have my blessing. This liquid will help cook and bring all the ingredients together into a symphony of piggy goodness. After this, cover the pot with the lid and into the oven it goes for 25 minutes. When this time has passed, remove the lid from the pot and nestle the ham hocks in between the cabbage. Then this madness goes back into the oven for 40 minutes uncovered. Very important. You'll smell the special and distinct aroma of this dish way early in this final cooking stage, and probably you'll wonder why the 40 minutes pass so slowly. But don't despair, it's done. And now you can partake into this feast that you worked so hard for until now. Take it out of the oven and start plating by nesting a bed of cabbage on the plate and top it up with a ham hock. And speaking of the ham hock, make sure to open it up as soon as it lands on the cabbage bed so it cools off enough that you can start munching on it as soon as possible. Not only is this a delicious dish, but it's also satisfying from beginning to the end. Shredding the cabbage, rendering the bacon, mixing everything up and bathing it all in ham hock juice. I mean, not many things bring that much joy to an old man's heart like mine. Everything is good, but especially the meat. Soft, juicy, tender and full of smoke. It's something to comfort you in a cold spring weekend evening when the weather plays tricks on you, believing it's still winter but ignoring all the green the last couple of weeks brought to life. Make this dish soon and tell me all about it in the comment section. And if you found this video useful, please share it with others so that this may become a tradition among many households. Thank you for your time and for subscribing, and I will see you next week. Bye bye. So good. Do it. Don't just trust me. Make it today.